Hello everyone. Today I want to explain the COVID vaccine distribution process in Montgomery County because I know so many of you are frustrated. To start, you need to know that the state of Maryland is receiving between 70 and 90,000 doses of COVID vaccine each week from the federal government, and that's for the whole state. Montgomery County receives about 15,000 doses. That's 15,000 doses of vaccine each week for our county of 1 million people. At that rate, it would take almost a year for every Montgomery County resident who's eligible to get the first dose of COVID vaccine. That is why it's critical that vaccine production increase, that new vaccines get approved, and that the federal government act quickly to move vaccine doses to state and local governments. There are now several places where people can go to get vaccinated in the county. The county health clinics receive a supply of vaccines from the state. The state is also giving vaccines to pharmacies, grocery stores, and hospitals. However, the addition of these new providers has not increased the number of doses available. In fact, it's reduced the allocation to our county health clinics. We are now getting about 5,000 doses a week. You see, the state is simply dividing the 15,000 weekly doses between all of these places, including the county health centers. When vaccines first became available, the first targets were the frontline health workers and front-facing public safety personnel. That group is somewhere around 40,000 people. The county, following state and federal guidance, targeted its vaccines on this group. With our limited supply of vaccines, we were not close to completing this first round of vaccinations when the governor declared that seniors 75 and older in the 1B group were eligible. That added more than 75,000 more people to those waiting for vaccines. Again, absolutely no increase in supply, which I'll add is not anyone's fault other than the former president who refused to commit to buying the supply from pharma companies when it was actually available. So that meant that almost 120,000 people are now competing for the weekly allocation of 15,000 first doses. Then a week later, the governor included teachers and a Group 1C seniors 65 to 74 to the eligible list, adding another 100,000 people. And with most recent additions the state has made, we have almost 300,000 people competing for the same 15,000 doses. At that rate, to meet that demand would take almost 5 months. And it has created this daily frenzy that you're familiar with of people trying to grab vaccine slots at their providers and watching all the slots vanish within minutes. There's a clear supply and demand problem happening here, and lost in all of this is any prioritization of the different categories. If anyone in any group can schedule a vaccination, no one is a priority, and the loss of priority is nowhere clearer than with the original priorities of front-facing workers and seniors over 75. We weren't close to finishing them before the other groups were added to mix, and because none of the other providers are required to vaccinate people in the order of priority, it is the county health department alone that is now reduced to share the 5,000 doses among these groups. And meanwhile, our residents thought that being eligible meant they were able to get a vaccination right away. As I said, the county health clinics are limited with our doses, and we are still vaccinating the first priority 1A workers and the 75 plus seniors. As soon as these groups are done, we can move to the other group. We are working with retail pharmacies and hospitals to try to coordinate the response locally by prioritizing vaccinations across all of the providers so we can clear this group faster and move on to the next group that needs to be vaccinated. To get registered, people need to go to the county's COVID website. That's montgomerycountymd.gov/COVID19/vaccine. At the same time, providers are providing registrations separately. And yes, this means you can register on more than one site, and it's fine to register on multiple sites. If you're lucky enough to get one appointment, please cancel the ones you don't need. So far, the county has registered about 250,000 people who will be notified as doses to our clinics become available. Some of those people are registered at other provider sites as well. So now we wait for increased vaccine production and new approvals. The state is creating a new software system to better manage the scheduling. We hope the state system will ensure diverse populations are getting their equitable share of vaccinations. Just as the lower-income minority communities have been hardest hit by the virus, they are now lagging far behind in vaccinations. The most important thing the state could do is to make clear that we don't have enough doses to do everyone at once. I'll close by asking you to ponder this. 300,000 county residents think they're eligible to get vaccinated, and they will be scrambling to get one of the 15,000 doses. That means that 285,000 people will wind up very frustrated and not understanding why they're eligible and yet unable to get vaccinated. I hope this sheds some light on what's happening. I do believe the vaccination pace will be measurably better in the future. Until then, we have to be patient, but it will change.